A sudden move has just shaken the celebrity world, and this time, it comes from none other than Kylie Jenner. A luxury mansion worth over $20 million, more than 300 billion Indonesian rupiah, has officially been put on the market. But the real question is, why now? And what's sending fans into a frenzy? Is there a connection to Timothée Chalamet? Before we dive deeper, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share, because this isn't just about a high-end property sale. This could be a major turning point in Kylie Jenner's life. In the world of celebrities, selling a house isn't unusual. But when Kylie Jenner does it, it instantly becomes headline news. This isn't just any property, this is a multi-million-dollar mansion that represents her signature lifestyle. Known for its ultra-modern design, high-level privacy, and luxury amenities, the house has appeared in everything from reality TV moments to viral social media posts. So why let it go now? The timing is what makes this story explode. Kylie's decision comes right in the middle of her increasingly talked-about relationship with Timothée Chalamet. From their public appearances to subtle but telling moments caught on camera, fans have been noticing a shift. And now, this property move is adding fuel to the fire. Is this just a coincidence, or part of something bigger? Insiders close to the industry are hinting that this may not be purely a financial decision. Some say Kylie is ready to enter a new chapter. A simple phrase, but one that raises more questions than answers. What kind of new chapter? And does it involve someone new playing a bigger role in her life? On the other side, Timothée Chalamet is known for living a much more low-key lifestyle. He's often seen embracing privacy and simplicity, something very different from the Kardashian-Jenner spotlight. This contrast has sparked a powerful theory. Is Kylie adjusting her life to align more closely with his? And this is where things get really interesting. Imagine this, one of the biggest beauty moguls in the world, with a billion-dollar empire, choosing to let go of one of her most iconic assets. This isn't a small move. This is the kind of decision people make when they're preparing for real change. But wait, there's another layer most people are missing. Real estate analysts have pointed out that the property's value is currently at a peak. Meaning financially, this is the perfect time to sell. So now we're looking at two competing possibilities. Is this a smart business move from Kylie Jenner? Or is it a personal decision wrapped in strategy? Right here, halfway through the story, the tension builds. Because both narratives make sense. Kylie is known as a sharp businesswoman who understands timing. But she's also someone navigating a very public and evolving relationship. And the public? They're watching every move. Social media is flooded with theories. Some believe Kylie might relocate closer to Timothee. Others think she's stepping away from the ultra-public lifestyle to embrace something more private, something more grounded. But the real climax of this story isn't about the house. It's about direction. If Kylie Jenner is truly shifting her priorities, then this sale is more than just a transaction, it's a signal. A signal that something deeper is changing beneath the surface. And if we look at patterns in celebrity life, moves like this often come right before something much bigger unfolds, whether it's a new phase in a relationship, a career shift, or a complete lifestyle transformation. So, does this have anything to do with Timothée Chalamet? The truth is, we may never get a direct answer. But the timing, the context, and the subtle changes are too aligned to ignore. When two very different worlds start to merge, decisions like this are rarely random. In the end, only Kylie Jenner knows the real reason behind this move. But for the public, the mystery is exactly what makes this story so compelling. Are we witnessing a major transformation in her life? Or is this simply a genius financial decision that just happens to look dramatic? One thing is certain, the story isn't over yet. So if you don't want to miss the next update on one of the most talked about celebrity stories right now, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because what comes next might reveal more than anyone expected. Because behind every big decision, there's always a deeper story waiting to unfold. And just when it seemed like the story had reached its peak, a new layer begins to unfold, one that makes everything even more intriguing. Because behind the headlines about Kylie Jenner selling her multi-million-dollar mansion, there's a pattern that longtime followers are starting to notice. This isn't the first time Kylie has made a bold move right when her personal life begins to shift. In fact, history shows that every major change in her relationships has often been followed by a significant lifestyle adjustment. And now, with Timothée Chalamet in the picture, the timing feels almost too perfect. Sources close to the situation have remained careful with their words, but there's a growing sense that Kylie is becoming more intentional with how she presents her life. Not just online, but in real life. Selling a house of this magnitude isn't just about cashing in on a hot market. It's about letting go of a space filled with memories, routines, and identity. Think about that for a second. A home isn't just walls and glass panels, it's where a version of you exists. And when someone decides to walk away from that, it usually means they're ready to step into a different version of themselves. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Some real estate insiders have hinted that the buyer pool for this property is extremely exclusive, meaning Kylie isn't just selling to anyone. There's speculation that the deal itself could be part of a larger strategy, possibly tied to investments, partnerships, or even relocation plans that haven't been made public yet. And if that's true, then this isn't just a sale. It's a calculated move. At the same time, fans have started dissecting every recent appearance of Kylie and Timothee. From subtle body language shifts to the way they navigate public attention together, people are noticing something different. There's a level of comfort, but also a level of privacy that Kylie didn't always prioritize in the past. Could this be influence? Or is this evolution? Because let's be real, being connected to someone like Timothée Chalamet comes with a completely different kind of spotlight. It's quieter, more selective, less about constant exposure and more about meaningful presence. And for someone like Kylie Jenner, that shift could be both refreshing and transformative. But just as that theory starts to gain traction, another perspective enters the conversation. What if this has nothing to do with Timothée at all? What if Kylie is simply leveling up, again? After all, she's built an empire by making bold, strategic decisions. From launching billion-dollar beauty ventures to redefining influencer marketing, Kylie has consistently proven that she knows how to stay ahead of the curve. Selling a property at peak value could simply be another example of her playing the game smarter than everyone else. And yet, the emotional timing still lingers. Because major financial decisions don't exist in a vacuum. They happen alongside life changes, personal growth, and shifting priorities. And right now, Kylie Jenner seems to be standing at the intersection of all three. Now here's the part that most people aren't talking about. There's been a subtle but noticeable change in how Kylie curates her world. Fewer over-the-top displays, more controlled appearances, a different kind of energy in her content. It's not drastic, but it's there. And when you combine that with a major asset sale, it starts to paint a bigger picture. A picture of transition. And transitions are rarely random. They're intentional, even when they're not fully revealed. So what could be next? Some insiders believe Kylie may be preparing for a relocation that aligns more with her current lifestyle, possibly closer to creative hubs or quieter, more private environments. Others think she could be restructuring her portfolio, moving away from certain types of investments and into new territories. And then there are those who believe this is the beginning of something even bigger, something that goes beyond real estate, beyond relationships, and into a complete rebranding of who Kylie Jenner is becoming. Because if there's one thing we've learned about her, it's that she doesn't make random moves. Everything is calculated. Everything has a purpose. And everything eventually connects. As the speculation continues to grow, one thing becomes clear: the sale of this 300+ billion Indonesian rupiah mansion is not just a headline. It's a signal. A signal that something is shifting behind the scenes, even if we can't fully see it yet. And that's what keeps people watching. Because in a world where everything is constantly shared, the moments that remain mysterious become the most powerful of all. So now the question isn't just, why did Kylie Jenner sell her house? The real question is, what is she preparing for? And how does Timothée Chalamet fit into that future, if at all? Because whether this is about love, strategy, or a mix of both, one thing is certain: we are witnessing a moment of change. And moments like this don't just pass quietly. They build. They evolve. And eventually, they reveal something bigger than anyone expected. So stay close. Because the next move? It might not just confirm the rumors. It might completely change the story. And just when the narrative feels like it's circling toward an answer, it shifts again, pulling everyone deeper into a story that refuses to be simple. Because now, attention isn't just on the sale itself, but on what Kylie Jenner does next. In recent days, subtle movements have started to raise eyebrows. Not dramatic announcements. Not headline-grabbing statements. Just small, calculated steps that, when viewed together, begin to form a pattern. And for someone like Kylie Jenner, patterns are never accidental. There's been a noticeable recalibration. From the way she appears in public, to the spaces she chooses to be seen in, to the tone of her online presence, everything feels slightly more refined, slightly more intentional. It's not about being louder anymore. It's about being precise. And that alone is enough to spark a new wave of speculation. Because when a figure who built an empire on visibility begins to embrace selectivity, it usually means something is shifting beneath the surface. At the same time, the presence of Timothée Chalamet continues to linger in the background of every conversation. Not always visible, not always confirmed, but always there. Like a variable that changes the equation without ever being fully defined. And people are starting to ask a different kind of question now. Not, are they together? But, how serious is this becoming? Because seriousness changes decisions. It changes priorities. It changes timelines. And sometimes, it changes where you call home. But just as that theory starts gaining momentum, another detail quietly enters the picture, one that complicates everything. There have been whispers that Kylie's team has been exploring multiple properties, not just in one location, but across several high-profile areas. This isn't about downsizing. It's not even about upgrading in the traditional sense. It's about repositioning. And repositioning doesn't happen without a long-term vision. Think about that. Selling one iconic home while simultaneously scanning the market for multiple new options suggests something bigger than a simple move. It suggests flexibility, strategy, the desire to not be tied down to a single version of life. And that opens up an entirely new interpretation. What if Kylie isn't moving towards something, but creating space for multiple possibilities? Because in a world where influence is power, mobility becomes leverage. The ability to exist in different spaces, different circles, different energies, that's not just lifestyle. That's strategy at the highest level. And yet, even with that perspective, the emotional layer refuses to disappear. Because behind every strategic move is still a person making choices. And those choices are rarely made in isolation. Especially not when relationships are evolving. There's also been a subtle shift in how Kylie engages with her inner circle. Fewer large, highly publicized gatherings. More intimate settings. More controlled environments. It's a quieter approach, but one that speaks volumes if you're paying attention. This isn't the Kylie Jenner of constant exposure. This is someone curating her world with intention. And that kind of shift doesn't happen without a reason. So now, the tension builds again. Is this transformation being driven by personal growth? By a relationship that's influencing her perspective? Or by a long-term strategy that we're only beginning to glimpse? Because all three can exist at the same time. And that's what makes this story so compelling. It's not one-dimensional. It's layered. And every layer reveals something new. Now here's where things take another unexpected turn. Industry analysts have started to point out that Kylie's recent moves, across business, branding, and now real estate, are aligning with a broader trend among high-profile figures who are shifting toward a more controlled form of influence. Less saturation. More impact. It's not about being everywhere anymore. It's about being exactly where it matters. And if Kylie is indeed moving in that direction, then selling a highly visible, frequently showcased property makes perfect sense. It removes a fixed point of exposure. It creates distance. It introduces mystery. And mystery is powerful. Because the less people know, the more they want to find out. And right now, the curiosity surrounding Kylie Jenner has never been higher. But then comes the question that brings everything back to center. Where does Timothée Chalamet fit into all of this? Because while his presence is subtle, his influence, real or perceived, continues to shape the narrative. His approach to fame is almost the opposite of what Kylie built her brand on. And yet, opposites don't always clash. Sometimes, they balance. And if that balance is real, then it could explain why Kylie's current moves feel different. More grounded. More deliberate. Less reactive. But again, nothing is confirmed. And that uncertainty is what keeps the story alive. Because in the absence of clear answers, every detail becomes significant. Every move becomes a clue. Every silence becomes a statement. And as the pieces continue to shift, one thing becomes impossible to ignore. We are not just watching a property transaction. We are watching a transition. A transition that could redefine how Kylie Jenner lives, how she presents herself, and how she navigates one of the most scrutinized lives in the world. So what happens next? Does she reveal a new home that aligns with this evolving identity? Does her relationship with Timothee step further into the public eye, or retreat even deeper into privacy? Or does she surprise everyone with a move that no one saw coming? Because if there's one constant in Kylie Jenner's story, it's unpredictability. And unpredictability keeps people watching. It keeps the conversation alive. It keeps the tension building. So as this story continues to unfold, one thing is certain: the sale of that 300+ billion Indonesian rupiah mansion was never the end of the story. It was the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter that is still being written, in real time. And if you've made it this far, then you already know. The biggest reveal might still be ahead. And just when it feels like every angle has been explored, the story expands again, wider, deeper, and far more complex than anyone expected. Because now, the conversation is no longer just about a house, or even about Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet as individuals. Now, it's about power, influence, and the silent decisions that shape both. Behind the scenes, people close to the industry are beginning to notice something unusual. Kylie isn't just reacting to the moment. She's moving ahead of it. While the public is still trying to understand why the mansion was sold, she's already operating 3 steps forward, making moves that haven't fully surfaced yet. And that's where the real tension begins. Because when someone starts acting ahead of the narrative, it usually means one thing. There's a bigger plan in motion. Over the past few weeks, subtle shifts in business activity linked to Kylie's ecosystem have started to raise quiet alarms among analysts. Nothing explosive. Nothing headline-worthy on its own. But when you connect the dots, brand adjustments, strategic appearances, controlled visibility, it starts to look less like coincidence, and more like coordination. And coordination requires intent. It suggests timing, precision, a roadmap. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Some insiders believe that Kylie is entering a phase where she's no longer just managing her image, she's redefining it. Not through loud announcements or viral moments, but through calculated absence and selective presence. Think about that shift. In an era where attention is currency, choosing when not to be seen becomes just as powerful as being everywhere. And Kylie Jenner, who once dominated timelines daily, is now experimenting with something far more strategic. Scarcity. And scarcity creates demand. Suddenly, every appearance matters more. Every move carries weight. Every decision feels intentional. Including the decision to sell a 300+ billion Indonesian rupiah mansion. But as that theory gains traction, another question begins to surface, one that reframes everything yet again. What if this isn't just about evolution? What if it's about protection? Because with greater influence comes greater scrutiny. And in recent years, the spotlight surrounding Kylie's life hasn't just been about glamour, it's been about analysis, interpretation, and constant observation. Every detail dissected. Every move questioned. And at some point, even the most public figures start to recalibrate. They pull back. They redefine boundaries. They choose what stays visible and what disappears. Selling a highly recognizable property could be part of that process. Removing a fixed, known location. Creating distance between public perception and private reality. And if that's true, then this move isn't just strategic. It's defensive. But even that isn't the full picture. Because while protection explains part of the decision, it doesn't fully explain the timing. And timing, in this case, remains one of the most compelling pieces of the puzzle. Because no matter how you look at it, the overlap with Timothée Chalamet's presence in her life continues to stand out. Not loudly. Not obviously. But consistently. And consistency creates connection. Even if that connection is never officially confirmed. So now, we're left with multiple layers of possibility, all existing at the same time. A business move executed at peak market value. A personal shift influenced by a growing relationship. A strategic repositioning toward a more controlled public image. A protective step to reclaim privacy. Each one makes sense. Each one fits. And together, they create a narrative that is far more powerful than any single explanation. Because real life is rarely simple. Especially at this level. Now here's where the story reaches another turning point. Because while everyone is focused on what Kylie has let go of, very few are asking what she's moving toward. And that question changes everything. Because letting go is only half the story. The other half is direction. And direction is where the real answers are hidden. There have been quiet indications, nothing confirmed, but enough to raise curiosity, that Kylie is exploring environments that align more with creative influence rather than traditional celebrity culture. Spaces where visibility is curated, not constant. Where presence is intentional, not expected. If that's true, then we're not just looking at a lifestyle change. We're looking at a mindset shift. From exposure to control. From expansion to precision. From being seen everywhere, to being seen exactly where it matters. And that kind of shift doesn't just affect where you live. It affects how you live. Who you surround yourself with. What opportunities you pursue. What version of yourself you choose to present to the world. And suddenly, the sale of a mansion becomes something much bigger. It becomes symbolic. A closing of one chapter. And the quiet opening of another. But here's the final twist, the part that keeps this story from settling into a clear conclusion. Even as all these theories build, Kylie Jenner remains silent. No detailed explanation. No direct confirmation. No attempt to control the narrative in the way people might expect. And that silence? It's intentional. Because sometimes, the most powerful move isn't to explain. It's to let the world wonder. To let the speculation grow. To let the story evolve on its own. Because in that space of uncertainty, attention doesn't fade. It multiplies. And right now, attention is exactly where Kylie Jenner thrives, whether she's at the center of it, or just beyond reach. So as this story continues to unfold, one thing becomes undeniably clear. We are not just watching a headline. We are watching a shift in strategy, identity, and direction, all happening in real time, without a full reveal. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the answers aren't meant to come all at once. Maybe they're meant to unfold slowly, piece by piece, move by move. So the next time a new update drops, a new appearance surfaces, or a new detail slips into the public eye, pay attention. Because it might not just be another moment. It might be the clue that finally connects everything. Until then, the question remains. What is Kylie Jenner really preparing for? And when the answer finally comes, will it confirm what everyone suspected? Or change the story completely? Because if there's one thing this entire situation has proven, it's that nothing about this is random. And the biggest reveal? It's still coming. And just when it feels like the narrative is reaching its final edge, it stretches even further, into territory that feels less like speculation, and more like a slow, deliberate unveiling. Because now, something subtle, but undeniable, is happening. The energy around Kylie Jenner is changing. Not dramatically. Not in a way that screams for attention. But in a way that feels controlled. Measured. Intentional. And when someone who has built an empire on visibility starts to shift into controlled visibility, it signals something deeper than a simple lifestyle adjustment. It signals awareness. An awareness of timing. An awareness of perception. And most importantly, an awareness of what comes next. Because here's the part that most people don't realize, Kylie Jenner has always been ahead of the curve. Every major move she's made, from business launches to personal branding decisions, has rarely been reactive. It's been predictive. She doesn't just follow trends. She positions herself before they happen. And that raises a powerful question. If she's positioning herself now, what exactly is she preparing for? At the same time, the presence of Timothée Chalamet continues to exist in this quiet, almost gravitational way. He doesn't dominate the narrative. He doesn't need to. But his influence, whether direct or indirect, feels embedded in the shift we're seeing. Because when two individuals from completely different worlds begin to align, the result isn't always immediate. Sometimes, it's gradual. Subtle. Almost invisible at first. Until one day, you look back and realize everything has changed. And that might be exactly what we're witnessing right now. A transition that isn't being announced, but is happening anyway. Now here's where things become even more layered. There's a growing belief among industry watchers that Kylie's recent decisions are not just about lifestyle or relationships, but about longevity. About sustaining relevance in a space where attention spans are short and overexposure can quickly turn into fatigue. And in that context, selling a highly visible, widely recognized property starts to make even more sense. It reduces predictability. It removes a fixed narrative point. It creates room for reinvention. Because reinvention doesn't happen when everything stays the same. It happens when something significant is removed. And a 300+ billion Indonesian rupiah mansion? That qualifies as significant. But even as that theory settles in, another layer begins to surface, one that shifts the emotional tone of the entire story. Because beyond strategy, beyond positioning, beyond influence, there's a human element. A personal evolution that can't be measured in market value or media impact. And that evolution often shows up in the choices people make when no one is watching. the spaces they leave behind, the environments they seek out, the energy they choose to surround themselves with. And while we may never see the full picture, the fragments we do see suggest something important. Kylie Jenner is not just changing her surroundings. She's redefining her comfort zone. And that kind of shift doesn't happen lightly. It happens when priorities change, when perspectives evolve, when the version of yourself that once felt right no longer fits the direction you're heading. And suddenly, the sale of a house becomes something deeply symbolic. Not just a business move, not just a strategic adjustment, but a personal statement, quiet but powerful. A statement that says, I'm ready for something different. But what that something is, remains just out of reach. And that's what keeps the tension alive. Because in every great story, there's a moment where all the pieces are on the table, but they haven't fully connected yet. This is that moment. We have the sale. We have the timing. We have the relationship. We have the subtle shifts in behavior, presence, and decision-making. Everything is there. And yet, the full picture is still forming. Now imagine this. What if, months from now, a new chapter is revealed, one that suddenly makes this entire sequence of events make perfect sense? What if the sale of this mansion is looked back on as the first visible sign of a transformation that was already in motion? Because that's how these moments work. They don't announce themselves as turning points. They only become clear in hindsight. And by then, everything has already changed. So as we stand in the middle of this unfolding story, one thing becomes undeniable. We are watching a transition in real time. Not a loud, dramatic shift, but a quiet, calculated evolution that is reshaping how Kylie Jenner moves, decides, and exists within her world. And whether Timothée Chalamet is a central part of that evolution or simply a parallel influence, his presence continues to add depth to a story that is already layered with meaning. Because sometimes, it's not about direct answers. It's about the connections that form without explanation, the patterns that emerge without confirmation, the shifts that happen without announcement. And right now, all of those elements are in play. So the next time a new detail surfaces, a new sighting, a new report, a new decision, look closer. Because it might not just be another update. It might be the piece that finally brings everything into focus. Until then, the mystery remains. The speculation continues. And the story keeps building,